Grant Ellis regrets not doing better on The Bachelor. March 31, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Grant Ellis has some regrets when it comes to his time on The Bachelor. He knows he could have done better and is reflecting on that. Fans were not impressed with this season and were left wondering if the show would ever make a comeback from this. It seems that Grant has been listening to viewers' thoughts and is regretting how he was on the show. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Grant Ellis has boring season, but gets engaged. Grant Ellis did not have an entertaining season in the viewers' eyes. In fact, a lot of people were bored with what was going on the entire season. Fans were constantly bashing Grant and how he was navigating his journey. By the end, he had 2 lovely women left. From what Grant was saying, people thought he was going to choose Licia. However, this was not the case. He ended up choosing Juliana. This was a shock to everyone, including the women who were on the season and did not know how it ended. Licia made sure Grant knew what he had lost. Now, Juliana and Grant are trying to enjoy their engagement. He regrets not doing better on The Bachelor. Grant Ellis seems to have regrets when it comes to how he was on his season of The Bachelor. They definitely instilled confidence in me. You know, I'm the second Black Bachelor ever. There's some weight that comes with that. But I feel like they did their best, and that's important. Could things have done better? Obviously. I could have been done better as well. But I think we all tried, and the end goal was an engagement. That was the focus of the show, and that's what happened. He seems to think that he and production could have done better when it comes to The Bachelor. Well, fans agree with this. Grant sounds like he was feeling pressure from being only the second African-American Bachelor. However, fans just wish the season was executed better. However, Grant knows the end goal was an engagement, and that did happen, so he does not think it was that bad. It seems as though Grant realizes that he and the production could have done better. However, he does know that the end goal of the show and journey was to be engaged, and that happened. Viewers did not love this season and wished it was different. However, people are excited to see what is to come on Bachelor in Paradise, especially with the new twist that is going to be happening. What do you think about him being regretful? Do you think he should regret his season? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Grant Ellis never expected to wake up one day and feel like the biggest failure in the Bachelor history. Yet, as the dust settled on his season, he found himself drowning in regret. The cameras had stopped rolling, the grand romance had fizzled, and all he was left with was a hollow sense that he had let everyone, including himself, down. The fairy tale that wasn't. When Grant Ellis first stepped into the role of The Bachelor, he envisioned the journey as a dream come true. He would meet incredible women, fall madly in love, and end up engaged to the person he was meant to spend his life with. But as millions of viewers witnessed, things didn't exactly go according to plan. His season was one of the most dramatic in the show's history, riddled with shocking twists, emotional breakdowns, and moments that would haunt him long after the cameras shut off. While the audience saw a confident, charming lead, behind the scenes, Grant was battling self-doubt and struggling to navigate the expectations placed upon him. "I thought I was ready," he confessed in an emotional interview months after the finale aired. "But looking back, I don't think I was. I made mistakes that I can't take back." The Licia Garr heartbreak. Perhaps the most controversial moment of Grant's season was his gut-wrenching decision to send home Licia Garr, the fan favorite and widely believed frontrunner. The world watched in stunned silence as she poured her heart out, only for Grant to crush it with a shocking rejection. "I can still hear the way she said my name when I told her," Grant admitted. "I see her face in my head all the time. She didn't deserve that." After the finale aired, backlash erupted online, with fans blasting Grant for leading Licia on, for making her believe she was the one only to discard her in the final moments. Some even accused him of playing with her emotions for the sake of good television. "She wasn't just a contestant to me," Grant clarified. "She was someone I genuinely cared about. But I let fear guide my decision, and I've regretted it every day since." The relationship that never stood a chance. Instead of choosing Lycia, Grant proposed to Juliana Moore, a decision that seemed passionate at the time, but quickly unraveled behind closed doors. Within weeks, rumors of tension surfaced. By the time after the final rose aired, their relationship was already on life support. "Juliana is an amazing woman," Grant said, "but deep down, I knew we weren't right for each other, and she knew it too." Their love story, once sold as a fairy tale, crumbled under the weight of real-world pressures. "I regret making that proposal," Grant admitted, "not because I don't respect Juliana, but because I should have known better than to force something that wasn't meant to be." The pressure to be the perfect bachelor. Being the bachelor came with an overwhelming amount of pressure, something Grant didn't fully grasp until he was in the thick of it. The producers, the audience, and even the contestants had expectations of him, and he struggled to live up to them all. "I wasn't just making decisions for myself. I was making them for a TV show, for the fans, for the brand," Grant revealed. "And that messed with my head. I started second-guessing every feeling I had." While contestants poured their hearts out to him, Grant often found himself trapped in an internal battle between what he felt and what he believed the world expected of him. "It's a strange thing, falling in love with cameras in your face," he said. "You start questioning what's real and what's just part of the narrative." The fallout and lingering what-ifs. After his engagement to Juliana ended, Grant found himself in an unfamiliar position, alone, scrutinized, and full of what-ifs. Could he have handled things differently? Should he have picked Lycia? Would he have been happier if he had followed his heart instead of playing it safe? "Every day, I ask myself those questions," he admitted. "And the hardest part is knowing I can't go back and change anything." Fans continue to debate whether Grant was truly at fault for the mess his season became. But one thing is clear, no one is harder on him than himself. His social media has been flooded with comments from supporters and critics alike. And while he appreciates the love, the criticism cuts deep. A hope for redemption. Despite the regret, Grant isn't ready to close the door on love just yet. He's hinted at the possibility of appearing on Bachelor in Paradise, or even returning as the Bachelor for a redemption season, though he admits he isn't sure if he's ready to step into that world again. "I don't want my story to end on a low note," he said. "I believe in love. I believe in second chances. But before I can give my heart to someone else, I have to figure out who I am without the cameras." For now, Grant is focused on rebuilding his life, his confidence, and his belief that he's capable of finding real, lasting love. But one thing is certain, he will never forget the mistakes he made, the hearts he broke, or the lessons he learned from his time as the Bachelor. "I wish I had done better," he said, eyes filled with sincerity. "Not just for the women who trusted me, but for myself." And with that, Grant Ellis walks forward, carrying the weight of his regrets, but hoping, someday, to turn them into something beautiful.